is new, isn't it? Welcome to the start of my brand new series called The Rumour Mill, in which we discuss all the latest going on at Tynecastle Park, transfer talks, discussion, all that lovely stuff. It's right here in this series. Remember, fire your questions down below in the comments, any rumours you might have, and I can use them in the next episode of The Rumour Mill. Without further ado, let's get started. A transfer rumour that's been gathering pace over the last couple of days is the signing of winger J. Roy Grott. He plays for Leeds United, he's 21 years old, he can also play through the middle, and he's been described as a pacey winger. Vitesse Arnhem are also interested in securing his services, which is probably due to the departure of their on-loan winger Martin Odegaard. He signed for Leeds United in 2017 from Dutch side NEC Nijmegen for £750,000. However, he struggled to adapt to the EFL Championship and also had struggles with homesickness. Hearts are in for him, however, like I said, they do face strong competition from Vitesse, and given that they're in his homeland and with his homesickness struggles, I can probably see J. Roy Grott choosing Vitesse over Hearts. However, you never know, have to wait and see how it plays out. But the first transfer rumour of this week's Rumour Mill is J. Roy Grott to Heart of Midlothian. So far this summer, Hearts have been linked with securing the services of three strikers: Mikael Mandron, Chuck Seneke and Lawrence Shankland. I'm going to take a look at all three of them and discuss who would be the most realistic signing and who I'd like to see in maroon and white next season. First up is a 6'3" Frenchman, Mikael Mandron. The first striker on this list is Mikael Mandron, who's recently left Colchester United after a 2-year spell with the U's. He's not the most prolific forward, if I'm honest. He scored 12 goals in 85 appearances for Colchester United since he joined them in 2017 on loan from Wigan. So to be honest, he's not exactly a prolific goal scorer. However, given that record, he's probably the most realistic signing out of the three. He's a big hold-up man, he could probably hold the ball up quite well, so to be honest, I think he would suit our style of play quite well. He could give Uche Ikpeazu some competition, and if Uche does get injured, I feel that Mandron could step in pretty well and fill his shoes. So the first striker on this list, Mikael Mandron, given that he's not very prolific, I'd say it's probably got about a 60% chance of happening. Out of these three, I think Mandron is the most realistic target. Next up, MK Dons, Chuck Seneke. Fellow 6'3" frontman Chuck Seneke is another player on Craig Levine's summer hit list. The forward scored 19 goals for MK Dons as they were promoted to League One. Will face stiff competition for his services from teams down south, including Portsmouth. However, the well-travelled frontman, who's also played in the Belgian top flight, may want to sample Tynecastle Park as well. Here's hoping we can get his services in the summer, although I'd probably say it's about a 30% chance of happening, given the wages down south will be a lot more substantial than the Scottish Premiership. Finally, completing the hat-trick is former Ayr United striker Lawrence Shankland. The 23-year-old scored 24 goals in the Championship for the Honest Men, a very impressive goal haul, which I'm sure will leave him in high demand this summer. Sunderland are the front runners to sign him, however Hearts have also been interested in signing him. It would be a pretty good signing. He provides goals. It's exactly what we've been lacking for the past couple of seasons, a consistent goal scorer that bangs them in every week. However, Shankland's form did tail off in January due to an injury. Have to wait and see if he could provide the goals in the top flight. Completing the hat-trick of linked strikers, Lawrence Shankland. In this section of the Rumour Mill, I'm going to talk about players that you know very well, given that they've all donned the maroon and white in the last few years. First up on the list is Steven Naismith and his re-signing from Norwich City. There's been a lot of anxiety around Hearts fans as they're like, why is he not signing his contract yet? The reason for that is he's waiting on his one last payout from Norwich City, which he's entitled to when he becomes a free agent. So, with any luck, he'll collect his paycheck, get back up the road to Tynecastle and sign that contract. The next few players that I'm going to discuss, I'll split opinion amongst the Hearts fans. First up, it's Arno. The Cameroonian midfielder is out of contract as a free agent and firmly in the shop window at the Africa Cup of Nations with Cameroon. If he has a good tournament with the Indomitable Lions, he'll put himself firmly in place to get a big contract at another club. If Jim has a star tournament and given that he plays for the Holders, he's got a pretty decent chance. I think he'll get that big contract elsewhere. Next up, it's Instagram man himself, David Milinkovic. The French Serv's been enjoying himself on holiday, showing the quick feet that endeared him to the Hearts faithful. Against some local school children, that is. highest calibre opposition, I understand, but the skills are still there. David's had a miserable time at Hull City since he moved to the KCOM Stadium in summer. He's barely played at all, to be honest, and Hearts are crying out for somebody with a bit more pace and trickery, as the only player in the current squad that has that is Jake Mulroney. He's got the flair, he's got the tricks, he's a fan favourite, until he moved to Hull that is, and I think if we got him back on loan, Milinkovic would fit the bill just right.
Go on, Jamie!
And last but not least, it's former fan favourite Jamie Walker. He's had a pretty miserable time down south with Wigan Athletic, with his time there being hampered by bad form and injury. If he came back up the road, he would need to put in a couple of good performances to win back the fans that he lost, given the circumstances in which he left the club. However, football fans are fickle. He'll be back in the good books in no time in my opinion, although I must admit I'm a little bit biased here, as Jamie was my favourite player at the club before he left to go to Wigan. I fit Jamie Walker as an asset to any team. Hopefully we can see him back in maroon and white after the summer. That just about brings us to the end of the first episode of the Rumour Mill. In the next coming weeks, I'd hope to bring you some more news of definite signings, as the players are due to report back to pre-season training on Friday. We can start a new season with some positivity. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a comment down below with your opinions on all the stuff I've talked about. Go to the top right corner there to participate in the polls. Like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.